Good morning, folks. We're about 30 hours into this blizzard here in southern Ontario, and -15, feeling like -30 if the wind chill. And I'm not complaining because we didn't get the 4 inches of rain they were calling for on Thursday before this flash freeze. So snow started here about 6 o'clock yesterday morning. It's right at milking time, so the cows are all up at the barn, and they after milking they just decided they'd stand in the barn, and they didn't come back out to eat. And it's not a big enough barn to hold them all, so a bunch of the heifers sat outside. They got snow frozen on their backs, which tells me that their winter coat is good enough that it's insulating the ice from the body heat. It's not melting, but it also tells me they're not producing enough body heat to get through that coat to melt the ice. So last night I felt sorry for them. I opened the door to the hay shed and let them in there. Figured they'd break open a few bales and eat and be happy, but they were just so dang miserable they couldn't even be bothered to do that. So this morning I got tired of looking at them standing there with their backs hunched and everything else, and I thought, I felt a lot better when I got out of the house this morning and got moving. They should too. So I drove them up here and didn't feed them anything at the barn. I drove them up here. These bales were sitting here. Flipped the hay feeders up and let them tear into them, and it seems like now they remembered that they're cows and they might actually create enough body heat just eating and chewing that they melt some of that ice off their backs. And I'll leave that hay shed open. They can go back up there later today and get out of the wind. But the other group of cows, I'll go make a video on them. They've been out in the field ever since the blizzard started. They've never come up. And the barn's bedded nice with straw, and it's right next to their water fountain. I think they're just eating snow, and I opened the gate to a grove of trees and a few square bales of hay, and I'm gonna go look for them in a minute, but I bet you they're all sitting there happy. These girls just sat in the barn last night with their backs hunched, looking miserable, feeling sorry for themselves. So a cow could take the cold, she could take the wind, she could take the rain, but she can't take all three. We need a barn for those cold, windy, rainy days, but today it's just cold and windy, and they'll survive out here. They don't need to be in the barn. Sometimes we just feel a little too bad for our animals and work a little too hard for them. Anyway, I'm going to venture out, find the other group of cows, make sure they're as good as I think they are, and then continue to do chores.